Naruto is a series that has an impressive array of characters that have lore and hype behind their names or titles, be it the Yellow Flash, the man that had a flea on sight order placed on him, or the tailless tailed beast that gets stronger the stronger his opponent is. There's three characters that have made quite the name for themselves, that is renowned throughout the world: the legendary Sannin, or the legendary three, Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Orochimaru, the students of the third Hokage. These legends have been places from Hokage candidates to members of the Akatsuki, and even being part of the Elder Toad Sage's prophecies. Despite their legendary status, they're also portrayed as greatly flawed human beings, one being a pervert, the other being an alcoholic and a gambling addict, and I honestly don't even want to get into what Orochimaru is. They also suffer a significant power drop throughout the series, where the Sannin are the strongest characters when they're first introduced, and by half point in Shippuden, they're getting cucked by high-tier Akatsuki members. In this video, I will go over the legend of the Sannin, their backstory, their powers, and their legendary status in the verse, as well as the real-life legend of which the characters of the Sannin were inspired off of. Enough chit-chat, let's get to it. You may not know this, but all three of the Sannin are actually inspired from a Japanese folktale called The Tale of Jiraiya the Gallant. The story was originally a yomihon, a type of Japanese book published during Japan's Edo period around 1806. The story is about a bandit kid named Jiraiya who was skilled with swordsmanship. At one time, during a snowstorm, when he tries to rob a small house that was inhabited by a beautiful woman, that beautiful woman turns out to be a shape-shifting giant frog named Sensu Dojin. That frog then proceeds to teach Jiraiya frog magic and makes him promise to never steal from the poor and to instead take from those who earn their money dishonestly and spread it to the needy. So this Jiraiya was more of a Robin Hood figure than a pervert. Around this time, a young maiden named Tsunade meets a 100-year-old man that tells her that his real form is a snail and offers to teach her snail magic. Yup, you can't make this stuff up. Eventually, Jiraiya and Tsunade join forces in marriage, and they eventually come into conflict with a wicked robber whose father was a man and mother was a serpent named Orochimaru. It is said that this Orochimaru knew snake magic and would spew venom on the strongest warriors to destroy them. So it seems like the Sannin follow both the legend, animals of choice, and character intent. Now, there's nothing about healing, perversion, or stealing a young Uchiha's body, but I think it's still close enough. Okay, now let's start talking about the Sannin and how they came to be. They started off as the Genin squad to the third Hokage. Here is in Sarutobi. They also kinda mirrored Team 7 with how one member was a goofball, the other was a reserved genius, and the third was a female, I guess. Being students of the Hokage was already a setup for success, not to mention that each student had their individual prospects that contributed to their group being renowned as legendary. Jiraiya would be summoned to Mount Nioboku and would be part of the Great Elder Toad's prophecy, where he was told that he was gonna guide the child of prophecy that was gonna be either the savior of the world or a god of destruction, the likes of which have never been seen. Jiraiya had also mastered Toad Sage mode while he was there, earning himself the title Toad Sage. Orochimaru was considered a genius by his sensei, and has made it his mission to learn all the jutsu in the world and eventually find the cure to mortality. This led him down a dark path where he studied all types of jutsu, including Forbidden Jutsu and Kekkei Genkai. This would eventually lead him to several developments, such as refining the reanimation jutsu, studying the cells of the first Hokage to revive the Wood-style jutsu, and recovering the secrets of the Sharingan. Tsunade was also no slouch. Having experienced the loss of her late lover Dan, Tsunade had made some worldly developments in medical ninjutsu, where she was hailed as the best medical ninja in the world. She even popularized a rule that every squad should be deployed with a medic, which vastly improved the success rate of missions taken on by the Hidden Leaf. Now their name, the legendary Sannin, comes from a battle that they partook in during the Second Great War against the Hidden Rain's leader, Hanzo of the Salamander. The Sannin had been deployed there with an entire platoon of Leaf Ninja, and towards the end of the battle, only the 3 of them remained, the legendary 3, the Japanese for which is Sannin. Hanzo had predicted that the Leaf would end up winning the war and decided to spare the 3 of them, as they put up a decent battle against him, naming them the Sannin. Hanzo himself was a legendary ninja and had a flee on sight order placed against him, just like the 4th Hokage. Now, while this may have not been them at their prime, this is the war in which the Sannin had made a name for themselves and solidified their status as legends of Konoha. Now, while they may not be top tiers of the verse, the Sannin are still quite powerful and not to be taken lightly. Let me go over some of their abilities and skills. Let's start off with Jiraiya, the Toad Sage of Mount Myoboku. Jiraiya, even in his base, was pretty reputable, with even members of the Akatsuki recognizing his talents. He's able to make light work of Konan, and while Konan is not one of the stronger Akatsuki members, she's still an Akatsuki, and being able to handle her with ease is quite a feat. He's also able to fight on equal footing with and overwhelm the animal path, but he does get overwhelmed when the other paths join. When he enters his Sage mode, he's able to trap 3 paths of pain in his sound-based Genjutsu, and he actually would have been able to escape had he decided to not sacrifice himself. While he's nowhere near Pain in terms of firepower or abilities, the fact that he was able to face Pain and push him to the extent that he did is still incredible, considering Pain was able to face off against the entire Leaf and face no real competition until Naruto arrived. Tsunade is also a legend, and actually quite underrated if you ask me. She's got the strength of 100 healings jutsu, with which she can instantly heal and regenerate from any injuries, putting her in a temporary state of immortality. Her strength is also nothing to scoff about. Like Sakura, she's really good at chakra control, and she can use that to amplify her physical strength to monstrous levels. She is able to damage and break Madara's Susanoo ribcage, which is more damage than the Raikage or Sage Naruto's Rasen Shuriken could deal. The Raikage is so cocky that he believes that he can actually kill KCM Naruto, yet he submits to Tsunade having greater strength than him, with him only surpassing her in speed. Now, talking about Orochimaru, one of the most terrifying characters, with a questionable taste for children, he's strong enough to have been a member of the Akatsuki and scare everyone in the village that even the 3rd Hokage believes no one would be able to stop him. Even after he has his arms sealed away, he's able to go toe-to-toe with Naruto in his 4-tailed state, the same Naruto that put a hole in Jiraiya and was able to free himself from Tendo Pain's Renegon rods. This version of Naruto has a rage amp from the 9 tails and is able to casually blow up forests and even launch Biju bombs. Yet a nerfed Orochimaru that doesn't have his hands and is in a body that's rejecting him is able to contend somehow, being able to launch him across the battlefield with his Kusanagi blade. He's also able to extend his neck to the point that it looks like a skyscraper, which makes you wonder what a full power Orochimaru would have been able to do. So it makes sense why Orochimaru was accepted into the Akatsuki, as power-wise he'd clearly be able to capture Biju if he was able to do this well against the strongest Biju. And I'll repeat myself, while nerfed. So yeah, the Sannin are no joke, and all of them are easily Kage level. They're also some of the best users of the summoning jutsu, with how both Jiraiya and Orochimaru can summon various toads and snakes respectively. Tsunade has also been shown able to summon Lady Katsuyu. However, Katsuyu can divide herself into multiple smaller slugs, which can heal people and have other useful applications. All that being said, they don't really stack up against, say, the former Hokage wielders of the Mangekyo Sharingan or the Renegan or Perfect Jinchuriki. People will bring up the whole, oh, Itachi and Kisame ran away from Jiraiya, but they have to remember that Itachi was a double agent and didn't wish to fight an ally of the Leaf, and even Kisame seems visibly confused that Itachi ran and believes that he could have handled him if he wanted to. People also have to remember that there are multiple statements that have been retconned from part 1, such as Hiruzen being the strongest Hokage, being stronger than Hashirama, There's also a statement that Jiraiya could have beaten Pain had he found out about his secret, but that statement clearly refers to the fact that the Pains are telepathically controlled, and that had Jiraiya found out about it, he'd use his Sage Mode to track down the crippled Nagato the same way Naruto did. And the statement never implied that Jiraiya would be able to overpower the paths head-on. Orochimaru is also rather strong, but Itachi's Genjutsu is able to scare him into leaving the Akatsuki, and start of Shippuden Sasuke is able to overpower him during the body transfer ritual. Even when he gets revived during the Fourth War, he states that EMS Sasuke is stronger than him and that he wouldn't even think of stealing his body. Then there's Tsunade, who although she was able to deliver some blows to Madara, we can't forget the fact that she was backed up by 4 other Kage, and that Madara was toying with her and the other Kage the entire time. And if it weren't for Inoki, then the 5 Kage would have died on multiple occasions. Now, this isn't an anti-feat for the Sannin, as people that possess the Mangekyo Sharingan or the Rinnegan are the top dogs of the verse, and are only rivaled by characters like the 1st or 4th Hokage. But I thought that I'd rank them accurately and not overhype any of them. Furthermore, the Sannin's legacy extends beyond their powers and their title, but they also live on in their students and disciples, all of whom have had tremendous effects on the world itself, both positive and negative. Jiraiya is the sensei of the Rain Orphan Trio, the late Yahiko, Nagato, and Konan, both members of the Akatsuki, with the former being both the leader of the Akatsuki and the possible child of prophecy. Jiraiya was also the 4th Hokage's sensei, which is why Minato chose for him to be Naruto's godfather. As for Orochimaru, after he was absorbed by Sasuke, his disciple and assistant, Kabuto, went into madness and attempted to follow in Orochimaru's path, perfecting the reanimation jutsu even further and providing Tobi with his army of the undead for the Fourth War. Shizune, Tsunade's right-hand woman, was the head medic ninja in the village, and was the one to uncover that the Pains were all dead bodies being moved telepathically. Now, of course, I saved the Sannin's most important students for last, Team 7, who would eventually go on to be the strongest team in the world, fighting a literal god and saving the entire world from being turned into mindless slaves. They even mirrored the Sannin's 3-way deadlock and are compared to them even after they've surpassed them. So, in conclusion, while the Sannin may not scale to the broken characters by the end of the series, they still possess immense power, and their legacy surpasses all of their contemporaries. Even after the 4th Shinobi War, they're still relevant in the Boruto era, and even Jiraiya, who's been dead for years now, is relevant enough that a clone of his has been developed, showing how truly immortal the title of Sannin is. If you've enjoyed this video and want me to make another regarding any specific character, then please do let me know in the comments, and check out the rest of my channel. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next vid.